welcome back. Today we've got a special episode. It's been requested before, weren't sure exactly how we were going to do it, so we decided to set it up a little bit like a Q&A from our other videos and from people around that have been DMing us and asking us questions about me specifically and our firm and what type of law we practice. So today we're going to be getting to know the lawyer you know. And we'll start out just by introducing myself again. My name is Peter Tragos. I am the lawyer you know. I host this channel, I host our podcast, and I am a personal injury lawyer in the Tampa Bay area, specifically Clearwater, Florida. My firm name is the Law Offices of Tragos, Sartes, and Tragos. Our website is tragoslaw.com. All of our firm info is in the description if you want to look us up and look up our credentials and what we do and what we're about. So now we're going to go through some of the questions and answers that we've gotten in the past so I can give you as much information as I can about me so you can know who you're listening to going forward. Hopefully you guys are already subscribed to our page. If not, hit the subscribe button now. Like this video if you like this type of content because we want to bring you the content you like. So I'm just going to give you a little insight into me, what I do, and what I'm about. So let's start. The first question is, what kind of law specifically do you practice? And as I said, I am a plaintiff's personal injury lawyer. What that means is I represent victims that were injured as a result of someone else's negligence or someone else's intentional acts. So that can be car accident victims, slip and fall victims, people hit by semi-trucks, people hit walking in the side of the road while they were on their bicycles, motorcycles, traumatic brain injuries, whatever it is. I represent victims that are injured, and I am a civil trial lawyer. I'm actually in the courtroom. We're doing depositions. We're trying cases. We are litigators. We are trial lawyers here at the Law Offices of Tragos, Sartes, and Tragos. Next question. What other types of cases does your firm handle? So a lot of you know Big George, my dad. He is the founding partner of our firm. He focuses primarily on criminal defense. He's been doing that for almost 40 years. He was an assistant state attorney. He was the chief assistant U.S. attorney, the chief over all the criminal cases in the Middle District of Florida back in the day. And he has followed along in that criminal defense path his entire career. So he runs our criminal defense department. The other lawyers in the firm still work on some of those cases, especially Pete Sartes still handles a lot of our criminal cases as well. And Pete, whose name you've already heard in the name of the law firm, Tragos, Sartes, and Tragos, handles personal injury cases, he handles some criminal cases, and he also runs our nursing home negligence department. So anybody that's abused at a nursing home or that's neglected and they get bed sores or some of them even pass away or are dropped and have serious injuries as a result of someone's negligence in a nursing home, Pete runs that department. And lastly, we have Dave Nizer, who is a board-certified civil trial lawyer. He handles plaintiff's personal injury, car accident type cases, just like we talked about earlier in the video. Next question, why did you choose personal injury? So I went to undergrad at Florida State University as a biology major. I really liked orthopedic surgery. It's kind of what I did. I was interested in the medicine, but the actual real broken bones, torn tendons, do the surgery. That's what I wanted to do. I had some mentors here back at home that were orthopedic surgeons I'd watched in surgery. I was really interested in that. Went to college, did not like science, did not like the labs, did not want to do 10, 15, 20 years of that before I'm a real doctor or a real surgeon. So I kind of pivoted to law. And I assumed I would do criminal defense like my dad. But once I got into it and learned about the different areas and clerked for a firm in Tallahassee that did criminal and personal injury and medical malpractice and nursing home negligence, I fell in love with representing injured victims against big insurance companies and the big bad guy and the corporate man. So I love being the little guy. I love the David and Goliath fight that we have every single day, representing injured victims, doing things they can't do on their own, helping them relieve some of the stress so they can focus on treatment and getting better and getting to the place they were at before the car accident. Next question. How do personal injury lawyers get paid? Well, another reason I loved personal injury is when I just came out of law school, I looked really young. I mean, really young. Some people thought I was still 18 years old. Some people thought I was a high school student interning at the law firm. So to ask somebody to stroke a big check up front like criminal lawyers do or some civil defense lawyers do, you got to pay that chunk up front. You've got to pay hourly these huge rates and people just get milked and spend so much money. Well, personal injury lawyers get paid on a contingency fee basis. The way it works is if you trust me and you think I'm going to do a good job for you, you sign this fee agreement and I don't get paid unless you win. I don't get money unless you get money. I get a percentage of the settlement. The more money you get in your settlement, the more money I get for my attorney's fees. And I love it. We've got skin in the game. I'm doing everything I can for my clients and they trust that I'm doing what's best for them and what's best for the case because that's how I'm getting paid too. A lot of these lawyers that are hourly and just kind of milk it along, sometimes it's hard to tell whether they're just delaying these cases and making them take forever because the longer they take and the more they work on them, the more they get paid, as opposed to how I work a case is I want to get maximum value as quickly as possible because that's what's best for my client and that's also how I make the most money and it's the best business decision for me. Therefore, our priorities and our wants and our desires are aligned throughout the entirety of the case. Next question. What happens if you don't win a case? Does your client still have to pay you? So along those same lines, as a personal injury lawyer and a contingency fee, I don't get paid if we go get a zero. If we go to trial and lose, the client doesn't owe me anything out of pocket. If we go on throughout the case and we find out there's no insurance or no coverage, the client doesn't owe me anything out of pocket. The only time a client ever owes a personal injury lawyer money out of pocket is if they fire them without cause and they just want to pick a new lawyer and that other lawyer has been working for some period of time on the case. They are entitled to what's known as a quantum merit lien. Maybe we'll do a video on what exactly that is in the future, but that's the only way you may owe a personal injury lawyer money that didn't win or get you a settlement on your case. Next question. Do most personal injury cases go to trial and why? The answer to that is no. I think it's less than 5% now of personal injury cases actually go to trial, which is why I liked practicing criminal law in the beginning and why I still do a little bit of it now because there's a lot more action and a lot more trials in those criminal cases. Civil cases are heavily litigated, they're contentious, you're battling it out and you are fighting in court. They just don't usually get to that trial. When they do, it's a ton of fun, but there's a lot of reasons why they don't. There's a risk to the client. If the defense insurance company has made a good offer, the client risks that bird in the hand for what a jury of their peers that they don't know is going to give them in the case. So there's a lot of risk when you go to trial. Number two, there's a lot of stress for the client when you go to trial. And number three, a lot of times the defense bends a knee when you're in the courtroom trying this case, so you don't even get there because they make you that final best offer right before or even as the case is in trial. So those are the main reasons a lot of these cases don't go to trial. The client doesn't want the risk or the stress, or sometimes the defense just pays up when it comes time to try the case. I wish more cases went to trial, frankly, but I do what's best for my client. I advise my client for what's best for them and what I would tell my family members. If it's not worth the risk, it's not worth the risk. And sometimes that's just the reality of the situation as it gets to the 11th hour and it's time to make a decision as to whether we're running this ball at trial or whether we're going to take a settlement. Next question. Why should someone pick you over a massive law firm? If size was all that matters, then personal injury lawyers would lose every case. We are always the little guy. The defense firms and the insurance companies are bigger than any personal injury law firm. I don't care if you're the biggest one in America who thinks size matters, because the defense firms are almost always bigger. The insurance companies almost always have more money. That's just how it works, and it doesn't matter. Size does not equal victory. Just because you go with the biggest firm doesn't mean you're going to get the biggest settlement or the biggest verdict. What you want is a firm you're confident in and comfortable with. A firm that cares about you, a firm that's going to do the best on your case and maximize your case, a firm that you think has lawyers that are competent and skilled and excellent at what they do. And you're not just another number, you're not just another legal fee, you're not just another one that they're pushing through their pipeline of cases. You want a lawyer that's going to look at your case. He's going to make specific strategic decisions based on what's best for you and your case. He's going to understand your situation. He's going to understand how this car accident or slip and fall or injury has affected your life differently than anybody else's. Every single case is different because every person is different. So if they're injured in the same exact way with the same exact injury, it still affects them differently. So it's important to have a law firm that's going to take your individual case and specifically make decisions for what's best for you. And that's why we're the best firm to pick, in my opinion. We've got highly skilled lawyers who have done this for a long time and have great results and are aggressive when we need to be aggressive, but we're gentle when we need to be gentle with our clients, because there's a lot of that. In these injury cases, people go through a lot of anxiety and stress, and they need to be put at ease, but not in a patronizing way as if it's not necessary or not normal for them to feel stressed. We've got to sympathize and empathize with them and understand this is very stressful, but it's what we do. and we'll take care of it, and we'll make sure that this is a good result at the end of the case for you. So that's why I would pick us over any big firm or any other firm, because I think we do the best job dealing with our clients individually and specifically for their cases, and we maximize the value of the case, which is what's best for the client. Next question. How long do personal injury cases usually take? What we tell most of our clients is the average is somewhere between 6 months and 18 months. Now, there are some cases that settle rather quickly in 60 or 90 days, depending on the injuries and the policy, but there are also some cases that take 4, 5, 6 years for a number of different reasons, especially if it's a tragic accident that ends in a fatality and you have to open up estates and you have to get guardians and you have to get paperwork put together before the case can even start. Sometimes if you're suing a governmental agency, there are notice requirements that are 60, 90, 180 days before you can do anything. So there are all sorts of reasons some of these cases drag on, but the average, I would say, for our cases and for our clients are somewhere between 6 and 18 months. Next question. How do I know how much money I should be fighting for or what my case is worth? A lot of times I tell potential clients that your case is worth what it's worth. Your case is worth the amount of money it takes to put you back in the position you were prior to the accident. So if you're severely injured, you've lost a ton of wages, and you're going to need a lot of medical treatment in the past and in the future, then your case is going to be worth a lot of money. But if, thank God, you weren't injured that bad and you don't need that much treatment and you don't have to miss any work, your case isn't going to be worth that much money. So each individual case has an individual value. It's not like every broken arm is worth the same, because if you break a Major League Baseball pitcher's arm, it's going to be worth a lot more money than if I break my arm. Every case is different, every individual is different, and the worth of every case is really based on how it has affected you and your life and the amount of money and damages it is going to cause you. Next question. What are some things you want people to know about personal injury? Well, not all of us are ambulance chasers. A lot of us just like helping people in need. And this is a process that is complex and very difficult for people to handle without lawyers. That's how the insurance company can really take advantage of individuals before they get a lawyer, or even talk them out of hiring a lawyer, saying you don't want to have to pay all those fees and costs or anything like that. When in reality, all the studies show that it is not close. The settlement values when you have a lawyer are astronomically different than when you try to handle it on your own without a lawyer, because it's a complex process and you're going up against multi-billion-dollar corporations who are about one thing, and that's the bottom line. So I love being in an industry where the lawyers are helping people with something they don't know how to do on their own. And I wish people would understand that personal injury lawyers specifically are the reason we have a lot of warnings, the reason we have seatbelts, and the reason we get these medical bills paid for the people that cause them, and the insurance companies actually have to pay for what they cover. We hold people accountable. Lawyers in general hold people accountable, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's the government, whether it's the insurance companies, or whether it's just the common man who needs to be held accountable. That's what lawyers do. Next question. What advice do you have for drivers on the road? Well, my number one piece of advice when it comes to car insurance is make sure you have uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. It doesn't matter what state you're in. This coverage protects you from any uninsured drivers or any underinsured drivers, meaning if they have minimal policies or not enough to handle any of your medical bills, especially not your lost wages and especially nothing in the future, make sure you have your own insurance, because that kicks into place when the person that hit you, the person that's at fault for the accident, that can't afford to pay your damages, now you have insurance that'll cover that yourself. So make sure you're protecting yourself and everyone in your family and everyone that goes into your car, and make sure you have that insurance in place before an accident happens, because once it happens, it's too late and you can't go back and sign it up. I've had so many people come in with literally fatalities in car accidents where people get hit on a motorcycle and they die, and they don't have that insurance in place, and the person that hit them only has a 10 policy, and that's it. If the defendant is uncollectible, there's not really a ton more we can do. So make sure you go out and get that uninsured motorist coverage. It's literally as little as $5 or $10 a month on some policies. And the last question we're going to answer in today's video is, what if I need a different type of lawyer than what you explained today? Can I still call you for advice? The answer is yes. Call me. I'm happy to help you with anything that I can. And if it's not an area I specialize in, and it's more than me just answering a question, because lawyers have a general knowledge about a lot of things. Even if it's not an area I focus on, if it's just a general question, I may be able to answer it for you. But better than that, if it is a serious situation where you need to hire a lawyer, I have a network of lawyers I work with that I refer cases to that are highly skilled, that are amazing lawyers, that we've had great successes with our clients who have to go to a family law lawyer or a probate lawyer or a medical malpractice lawyer, whatever it may be. We hook them up with the right lawyer that's best for them, and we put our stamp of approval on it, and we stay alongside them so we can be part of the process to make you feel comfortable that I've recommended this lawyer to you, and I'm going to vouch that they are a lawyer that I think can do a great job for you. So if you guys have any more questions for me or anybody else at my firm, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. If you want to hear the other lawyers in our firm do something similar, answer these same questions, let me know. I'd love to put it together for you. But for now, that's all we have. Thanks for watching this episode of The Lawyer You Know. If you like this content, please share it with your friends. Make sure you subscribe to our page and like our videos. If you want some interaction, get in the comments and we'll be sure to get back to you. If you want to know any more information about our firm or this page, you can find out in the description or visit tragoslaw.com. We post multiple times throughout the week, so make sure you hit that bell so you can get the notification and not miss out on the next episode.